So, Enlightened Warrior, how would you define what you guys have done and do for people?
Well, let's see. We choke people out, we beat them up, and then, you mean a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, from an
Wow.
outsider's perspective, that's exactly what it looks like. Like, what is going on?
I know, right?
Welcome to the Kooler Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kuehlhorn, and I'm excited to have you join me as I interview community members and business leaders from the communities in which I live, work, and serve through my business Kooler Garage Doors. We're going to bring you highlights on characters in our communities. Why? Because community matters, and I want to know more about who is behind our business and leadership in order to understand and support the community fabric that our relationships make up. And collectively, we can build stronger communities that support our lifestyles, our youth, and our health.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kooler Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kuehlhorn. Today, I have an incredibly special guest. His name's Kevin Cundiff. Kevin, I'm really excited for this conversation. We already had a little warm-up convo, but we have not seen each other in person since 2011. How you doing today?
Crazy. I'm awesome, brother. It's another glorious day in paradise here in South Florida.
Yeah, you're beaming in Hollywood Beach area. Is that right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Correct. Windows are open.
70s.
Shorts are on. Put a t-shirt on for this podcast. Oh, man, I gotta get dressed. I gotta kick my ass.
Yeah, man, we're up here in a spring snowstorm, so I'm a little envious. I would love to beam around real quick and hit some 70-degree beach weather for a minute.
Oh, yeah. I was just talking to a friend of mine. She's in Calgary. She has ice in her hair right now. She sent me a picture. She was walking her dog. It was minus 15. I think that's Celsius. But
yeah.
Still, anything with
It's
a negative
cold
in front of it.
Yeah.
This Floridian's staying away from that. Like, have fun. Good luck.
That's awesome. Well, for the listeners that don't know, Kevin, you and I connected in what you're wearing is the brand of the Enlightened Warrior camp. In 2011, I went down this path that really started opening up my life in so many different ways. And you and I think, really connected during what is referenced as the back off drill. And it just created this almost immediate transformation, but then it just keeps delayering. It's almost like, I look at the journey of life as like delayering the onion, right? And coming into that year for me was a version of Matt that was really immature and not owning my life. And I had my baby girl was a year and a half at that time, now 13 years old. And my boy was going to be born in September. And I think we probably had that warrior camp in August or maybe the summertime. But super transformational. And I want to tee that up and I want to come back to that. But first, I want to dive a little bit of context on you, Kevin. And I want to get an understanding of how you got into this type of work. And if you wouldn't mind, can we kick off with just talking about where you grew up?
Sure. I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee.
All right.
I was there for 32 years. And then I worked for American Airlines, and I've been with them for, my God, 37 years. I'm still with them. That sounds so crazy to even say. And I'm on the ramp, so I'm in baggage.
Okay.
And so when American Airlines said, hey, you need to hit the street or pick a new city. And first, they cut me back to part-time. So I stayed there part-time, started a construction company, and started building steel framed homes. Got one home built, and American continued to cut. And that's when they said, hey, hit the street or go to another city. So I chose Miami. I was like, well, if I'm leaving family and friends, I want to be in shorts and t-shirt every day.
Yeah.
It's like, bye-bye winter. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And so a friend of mine had said, hey, you got to go check this Millionaire Mind Intensive out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. When is it? And he's like, it's coming back in the summer or the winter. And so I went to it, never heard of T.R. Becker, never read the book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
Yeah.
Just reference that. And then I attended Enlightened Warrior training camp in 2007. In 2008, I went back to Karma Crew, which is volunteering to staff it. And then I got thrown into the predicament piece that you and I get into that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, might get us off track
No,
here
you're good.
a little
You're
bit.
good.
And so I didn't want to do it. I was terrified of it. I was literally scared because of what those guys in the predicament team do. I was like, I can't do that. That's not me. And so they bugged the crap out of me. And so what I like to do is like when something like scares me, it's like just go through it full force.
Yeah.
Just I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. You won't shut up, leave me alone, Shane Michalowski. I'll do it. I was like, and I want to do all the camps. I'm not just going to go do one, because we would do it in New York, California, and British Columbia.
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to do it all, because at the time there was two gentlemen that were teaching it. One would do it on the East Coast, one would on the West Coast.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I want to learn from both.
Okay.
And it was just been so incredible. It's like one of the best decisions I ever did.
That's amazing.
That's how I choose.
Hey everybody, this is Luke from Kooler Garage Doors. Just want to take a quick second to talk about our sponsor, Sommar Garage Door Openers. We believe Sommars are the best in the business when it comes to garage door openers. We always recommend them for residential installs because of the many features they have, such as Wi-Fi connectivity and safety features like a fixed chain that runs along a secure rail for a quiet and safe operation. Click the link to find out more about Sommar Garage Door Openers.
So in that journey, I mean, do you have a martial arts background, or you do?
I do.
You do. Is that coming from
I do.
childhood?
Yeah, I signed up for Taekwondo lessons the day after I graduated high school.
Okay.
And got into that, got my second degree black belt, and then got hired on with American Airlines at 19 years old, and then just started working like crazy and traveling the world. And just kind of like, yeah, okay, that was cool with martial arts. Let's just travel and be a 19-year-old goofball kid that's got free flight passes.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, hey, what do you want to do this weekend? Oh, let's go run with the bulls in Spain. You know, hey, there's a car show in Paris. Hey, let's go to Australia. You know, just like every month we would just go somewhere major. And what a ride. What a journey this has been.
Yeah, that's amazing. So Enlightened Warrior, how would you define what you guys have done and do for people?
Well, let's see. We choke people out, we beat them up, and then, you mean a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, that's exactly what it looks like. Like, what is going on?
I know, right? Well, the lessons behind all of that. I'm going on airplane mode now. I forgot to go. Okay, I'm on airplane mode. I won't be disturbed. I didn't get let down. It's helping people really reach their true potential. There's so much baggage that we tell ourselves as far as we can't, not good enough, and just so much static in our brains.
Yeah.
And then like Warrior Training Camp kind of helps peel away one of those layers to where we can really get to our true essence and meet that enlightened warrior that's within all of us. And we do it through some very unique processes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's transformational work, and I can attest to that, having gone through that.
Oh, yeah. I loved it so much. I was like, I'm going to Malaysia to do this work, Barcelona. It's and not being able to do it for the past couple of years because of the pandemic. It's like, yeah, okay, now I'm really missing it. It's like, okay, I haven't been doing it for 2 years. It's like,
Right.
That's when I'm like happiest. Like somebody will say, hey, when are you happiest? It's like when I have on an event staff t-shirt and I'm karma crewing, giving back, or when I'm in that kung fu gi and choking somebody to life. That's like just ultimate high for me.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. So kind of adding to the story, I went through that. You were one of the facilitators. I remember a dozen plus facilitators. And in the one back off drill, we had spaced out in a big conference room, and each individual was to walk as if they were walking through the park with somebody that they loved and really wanted to protect, right? At that time, I was a very new father. My baby girl in that scenario was 1.5 years, right? And I walked up to you and we had this engagement, and your role in this is to really understand who's coming at you in order to stir up some shit. And yeah. And to get a trigger style reaction so that, and this is just my kind of interpretation, so that, I, as the person in that experience, could drop further into my being to where there is absolute power. And what I learned in that moment was the power of setting boundary. And so there was no physical altercation, and that wasn't the point. The point was to drop so low and have such a no that it just meant like, we're stopped. Like, this dude ain't gonna mess with me anymore. Like,
dude, I've got goosebumps right now. It was so awesome. That's one of the things I love the most, is when I get to see somebody drop into their heart and know that that's where our power comes from.
Yeah.
Everybody can be, physical and loud, and it's not really that much power behind that. But when somebody tunes in to that heart space, dude, I'm just like blown away. And you could feel it too immediately. Like, as soon as it shifted, I'm like,
that's right.
That right there, feel that. Because it was incredible. But
yeah. And
I don't remember all of the hundreds that I've done through, but I do recall yours very specific.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing and special. And we haven't, for all the listeners, you and I, we've stayed together through Facebook primarily,
right,
and maintain this connection. But it goes back to that day, that moment in time. And there were other experiences in that facilitated course. That was a few days long. So there was the choked out experience, and that was pretty amazing and transformational for me as well. And then, the other one I remember was like, I don't know what you guys called it, but there was just a field of big ass dudes that were martial arts, and I had to run through them like
walking the park.
And at that point, I had gone through the back off drill, gone through the choked out experience, gone through the other experiences. I was like, this is nothing. Like, I'm charging. It's so good.
Best, man. Oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah, so awesome. And you mentioned like everybody has this warrior. And so, I continue to study. And I think that time frame in my life, and potentially that experience, along with everything else that was going on, like started my awakening. And I was like, all right, there is real power within this being of Matt, right? And as I keep going down, I start identifying archetypes. And so the warrior is definitely an archetype that I've engaged with. And after this warrior experience, like, that's when I started boxing and getting into like hand-to-hand combat kind of stuff, because I was like, I think the realm of masculinity and femininity. And masculinity for me, being raised by a single mom and getting messages, in the 80s and the 90s, and it still happens today, of, masculinity potentially being dangerous, and, wanting to please mom. And this is some of the conditioning, some of that junk that gets stuck in our head that starts to get broken up in this type of experience. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, who am I really? And remembering the power that we each as individuals have is really, really special. And breaking up that conditioning to understand who we really are, to bring our full force in, because everybody has some kind of a gift, something special. Right,
absolutely,
that the world needs.
everybody has a unique gift to bring to the world. You know, they're the only person with that unique talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it shine, baby. Shine that
Share
gift.
it, man.
Share it.
Let it shine.
I think Dr. Wayne Dyer said it best. Don't die with your music inside of you. You know, you got to write that song out and share it with the world.
I love that. Well, let me ask you this, man. A lot of those experiences were super experiential. But for anybody listening that might be hooked on this conversation, like what might somebody be able to do, even if it's on their own, that could help start either call it the awakening or eroding some of the condition? I mean, it's an ongoing journey, I think. But are there daily practices that you engage with, or are there different clearings or different activities that you can share without, you know, you being there to choke them out or...
I'm open to everything and attached to nothing.
Yeah.
I think that's what works best for me, because I don't have such a belief where like, this is the right way, you know, because I could be missing something that's completely 180 degrees opposite over here. That's like so transformative.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly reading, just open, just pouring in podcasts all the time. I don't listen to anything but a podcast in the car when I'm driving back and forth. There's no music. It's like, I just got to be knowledge, not just I guess that's the Sagittarian in me, the insatiable desire for knowledge.
Yeah.
I love being outside, barefoot, grounded, in the sand. I'm constantly in my backyard. It's a jungle. I live on a canal with ocean access. So just being able to get in a boat and go play in the ocean, you got to do what feeds the soul. I have to do what feeds my soul, you know. And part of that is just nature, learning, and helping others. It's like I'm doing something for everybody on the street, basically chopping a tree limb or whatever. So
yeah.
Just live, love, and give, you know?
Live, love, and give. I love that. Is that what's going to go on your tombstone?
No, it's going to say, I told you I was sick. What shit? I'll probably have be cremated. And so here in Florida, they can mix your ashes and turn it into like a starfish, and there's like a fake coral
No
reef
kidding.
that's just fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how I really want to have it too. So. What if I did? That's what it would say. I told you I wasn't feeling right. Yeah, I was sick.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Gotta have fun, man. Gotta laugh.
Gotcha.
Shit. Life's too freaking short to be miserable. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of things to be miserable about in the world.
Yeah.
But hey, there's usually something good in there. You just gotta dig a little bit deeper to find it.
Well, one of the things you mentioned, and I don't know where this came from for you necessarily, but you had mentioned, you know, the recognition of fear and seeing that and being like, yeah, I'm going through that. Like, whatever realizes fear is one of the unique things that actually gets smaller the closer you get to it. And so we can make it this big thing and keep it far away and never touch it. But as soon as we make a decision, be like, nope, I'm going in it, it can actually be nothing. Like
fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit it. Like public speaking. Most people are terrified of public speaking. You know, it's like, I don't know. That is a bigger fear over death. So they would rather die than speak in public. So Peak Potentials had a course called Train the Trainer.
Yeah.
And I went and did that because it's like, I don't really going to. Because when I attended the Millionaire Mind Intensive, I was on the front row and there was 3,500 at my MMI.
Yep.
Hey, who in here? And it was on my 40th birthday. Hey, who in here's got a birthday today? I just raised my hand. Hey, come up on stage. No, I'm good. I'm good. No, come on. I'm good. I don't really care. Come. dragging me up there. All right, here we go. 3,500 people singing happy birthday, arms out. And it was like something hit me.
Dang.
Whoa, what was that?
Dang.
You know? So I went and did train the trainer, became a assistant trainer with Peak Potentials. And that could be a very dangerous drug right there. That admiration, those accolades, that can feed the ego. And I was like, I got kind of scared of that. I was like, holy crap. Now I know why like celebrities act the way they are, and some can like overdose and do stupid stuff because they're no longer getting that recognition and that love and respect and admiration that we all desire. So that was a great awakening for me just to see that also. I was like, okay, cool, well, conquer that fear of like public speaking, whatever. But yeah, it's wild. So if you see something that kind of startles you, take a little peek at it. It's closer to it, and then just run through it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's not fear, it's just excitement.
Exactly. We confuse
Very
it.
similar emotion, feeling.
Yeah. Pupils dilated, sweaty palms, elevated heart rate. It's like, well, shit, that happens with both of those things.
Right,
I just need to change it from fear to excitement.
That's right. That's right. What do you think of how would Kevin define failure?
Fail. I don't know if there really is such a thing as failure. I think people label that as, oh, you didn't do what you set out to do. You didn't achieve what you attempted to achieve.
Yeah.
But really, if we look at it, there's lessons and learnings in that we can take from that failure and then apply that. And if we continue on, that can just be a stepping stone to the next level.
Yeah.
On down the path of life. So failure is just another chance to start over with knowledge.
I love that. I love that. When I went
if you don't give up on yourself and fail, I'll suck, I'll quit, no.
Yeah.
You learn what not to do.
Yeah.
Or a better way to do it.
Yeah. Can you imagine 1-year-olds like giving up on themselves, learning how to walk?
Oh, man. They're the best. You learn so much from kids. They won't stop at anything.
No, they won't.
You ought to know that being a parent.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy, look, daddy, 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 look, daddy, 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 mommy, 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 look, mommy, mommy. I could keep on till it's like they get that ice cream before dinner.
Totally. Best salesman
Stay up later.
around. Yeah.
Yeah,
I told you no 12 times and you got me on the 13th. What made you ask again? Like, I just wanted ice cream.
No,
that's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, that year of 2011. So, I went to, here's the full picture and the reason why I ask about failure. And this is an interesting part of Matt's story for anybody that actually listens to these things. But in 2011, like I shared, we had our 1-year-old baby girl, and my wife was pregnant with our boy Taj, and he was to be born in September. So I went to the Millionaire Mindset, like the free seminar that was in Denver, and I drove out there, and I go in, and I'm like hook, line, sinker, buying everything. I put on my credit card, and I'm playing such an interesting game, the version of Matt that I can't really talk about it. And it's fascinating to look back, but what I did there was make a commitment to go to all the other courses that Peak Potentials was offering. And so I flew to LA multiple times. Luckily, I had a great friend there, so I'd had my lodging set, but I'm putting all of my expenses on my credit card. And I get back from that weekend. Now, during the course of that weekend, my wife sends me the heartbeat of Taj. And the first time I hear the heartbeat was like over a voicemail. I'm just like out in the parking lot. I'm bawling. I just made this huge commitment of like $15K that I didn't have money for. I'm just putting on my credit card because I had credit, no credit card debt at the beginning of the year, 0 credit card debt at the beginning of the year. And I throw down and I'm bawling. I'm walking out with T. Harv Eker's boxes of books because I want to go sell them. And they're just like, I'm doing this for years. Like, it's messed. Yeah. And, I go through course by course by course. I meet you, go through the Enlightened Warrior, that starts delayering some of the conditioned thoughts that I had around everything, what it meant to be successful, how, being a father, a husband, all things. I meet Keith Cunningham. He comes onto the stage. I can't look him in the eye. Like, I always try to get up in the front row and be really close to the stage. I always made a game for myself to get on stage. And first time I met Keith Cunningham, like, he eyeballs me from the stage and I just can't hold his gaze because I'm playing such a interesting, immature game. And that dude's a freaking rock.
Oh, he's incredible.
And I'm like, dude, I got to go work with this guy. So I put down another 20K and I go down to Austin. And the second time in Austin, I get to work with him. It's a very small class of 22 people, and it's a mentorship course that he runs 4 days. And he goes person by person by person. I walk in on the third day and he knows it and I know it. He's standing at the door. He's like, Matt, you ready? I was up all night, like trying to just delayer, because now at this point, it's August. My boy's going to be born in September. I've got like 40, 50K on my credit card that I built up in 6 months. And I'm earning 30K a year at a local nonprofit. So it's like this day of reckoning for Matt in front of Keith Cunningham, and that dude is just gold. And so it goes all the way down, and ultimately I made this decision to file Chapter 7. And so in some ways, like, ultimate failure kind of thing. And in other ways, now that there's like this stretch of time, 11 years, like, I still reference the learning that I had from all these different experiences, certainly from the camps to working with different mentors, right? And it's just like, yeah, there really is no failure, part of the journey. For whatever reason, I had to go through that, make those decisions. And I mean, to look back on it now, like, I'd say it played out pretty freaking well. But in the moment, like, wow.
Yeah, it can be like, this is the suckiest time of my life.
Yeah.
But for me, it only gets better every time, no matter what situation. Go through a horrible breakup. Hey, only got better. Ex-partner is incredible, or whatever. Job. Can apply that to any area of your life. It only gets better.
Yeah.
It only gets better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got stage 4 cancer. Great. You die. You're back in spirit. You no longer in pain. You only got better.
I told you I wasn't feeling well.
Oh, I was sick.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome. Keith Cunningham rocks, man. So Keys to the Ball. You attended Keys to the Ball?
Well, I went to his 4-day MBA first course, and then he had a mentorship course back then, doesn't have it anymore. And then, so then I just kind of stay in touch, and I keep reading his books. The last 2 years, I was super psyched. I got to go down to Austin, work with him again. He does a Plan or Get Slaughtered every fall. And last year was his last live one. So he's gotten to the point in his life where he's closing the chapter on his live events. And the last 2 years, they've just been absolute gold. But yeah, he's solid.
His wife, Sandy's beautiful too.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah, man.
They're both just so grounded and down to earth. Salt of the earth people.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And the stuff
It's
that
funny.
they do.
He's hilarious.
Oh my God. He is so good.
I miss all that stuff, man. I'm so grateful that they had all of those courses.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
I was karma crewing, volunteering so much in California. I was out there like at least every month, sometimes twice a month. That people thought I lived in California. They're like, where do you live? I live in Hollywood, Florida. What? You don't live out in California? No. What are you doing out here? I've got my passive income set up through my rental properties, and I work for American Airlines. I fly for free. So it's like, I'm just wherever I need to be,
Yeah.
I was able to create that freedom where it's just like, just go and give back. And that was the most heart fulfilling part of my life ever. It's just, like I said, when I'm in that event staff t-shirt,
I
giving
love it,
back.
man.
Happy, dude, just blissed out.
I love it, Kevin. I am sure we could hang out and chat for hours and hours, but we're going to put a little bow tie on this conversation. As we sign off, I'm curious, who is inspiring you these days? What are some of those podcasts that you love?
There's a few right now. Sean Ryan, he is a former Navy SEAL and / CIA contractor. He has incredible guests on. It's not just war stories anymore. Mike Ritland, he's another Navy SEAL. Jocko Willing, he's another Navy SEAL. Wow, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Then there's Chris Boss. He wrote a book called Never Split the Difference, and he has a lot of YouTube videos. He didn't really have a podcast that I'm aware of, but I watch or listen to all of his YouTube videos. Tom Bilyeu, Impact Theory, incredible guests. Yeah, those are like my
taking notes
podcasts right now.
Yeah. I love it, man. Is there anything you want to close out with? Any final words you want to leave listeners?
Thank you for reaching out, brother. I'm proud of you. I love you, man. All the best to you, the fam. We'll definitely cross paths in the future, and everybody else out there listening. God bless you, man. Stay strong. Keep cranking it out. Shine that light.
Yeah. Kevin, I really appreciate how you show up in the world. I appreciate the gifts that you've brought me personally, and I know others. And it's super fun to connect with you again. We'll be in touch.
With pleasure, my brother. Stay in touch.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Enjoy your day.
All right.